What is my personal opinion on TikTok in 2023 after spending over $10 million on ads in the last 3 years? Look, TikTok really popped off and was honestly a big core of our agency last year, but now having spoken with many brands out there and other agencies, I can see that there's been a very big decrease in the amount of brands and agencies that either support or are actively running TikTok ads. So I want to talk about what is my real opinion, where do I think TikTok is heading in the next year or so. And look, if you don't know who I am, my name is Justin. I'm the founder of paidadvertising.com, where we specialize in elevating online businesses by simplifying online marketing. This video's idea came about when I saw this Facebook post from Nick Shackelford. If you don't know Nick, he's basically the father of advertising, at least in this online space, especially in the direct-to-consumer industry. He said something along the following lines. We had a big push into TikTok with a handful of brands. Since 2021, late and most of 2022, it hasn't held up to the paid execution that my team and I have been able to accelerate or even find any consistency in growth. Maybe we suck. Maybe we chose the wrong brands. I don't know. But the platform is still working for others. But where we have found success in brands or agencies have found a great way to seed product and build an army of influencers for their content to be distributed. I've had a very similar experience. In fact, for me, it's not even in 2021. Personally, it's been in 2022 where we actually started working with a lot of TikTok-based brands. And for some, it's been so up and down, which was the craziest part. What I resonate the most with Nick's message was the lack of consistency that I've also seen from TikTok. On some accounts, the in-platform ROAS was amazing, but then you had a third-party attribution software like Triple as an example. ROAS was atrocious on there. It's as if TikTok was over-attributing by 12-fold. For other accounts, it's the complete opposite. It was 0.3, 0.4, 0.5 on the ads manager, but then you look at Triple it was 3, 4, 5. There is no consistency overall as to how, let's say, a third party versus TikTok in itself had their attribution working. So that's one thing. Second thing that I found is you really had to have incredibly low AOV and a mass appeal product. So that leads me into kind of a separate point, which is why our methodology for advertising when it comes to going broad. I've shared in my videos quite often how I structure my TikTok and Meta accounts. So more specifically, in the last couple of weeks, we actually had a brand that was in fact an app. So they had a social media app, kinda, so a bit of a competitor to Tinder. And we were advertising that app on TikTok and had very decent results. In fact, TikTok yielded much better result than Facebook did for that. Why? One, the demographic is pretty much, it's very young. It's like 18 to 30-year-olds, which is pretty much who's on TikTok. Second, it's also an app that has a bit of a mass appeal. So again, works great. Like, it has a bit of a virality aspect to it. So that's good. Third, there's barely any commitment. It's a free app. So downloading it, it's in-app purchases and the subscriptions and the whatnots that monetize this app in itself. But the barrier to entry is really low enough for it to find its success on TikTok. But any product that I've tried that are like anything above 30 bucks, I would say like 30, 40, $50, they barely work on TikTok. It's very hard to make work. Now, where I really found a place for TikTok, at least within our own ad strategy for most brands, I'd say this is the case for pretty much 80% of the brands. It's either within a creative testing sphere or it's just a very top of funnel platform. So what I've seen most often, just the same way that, let's say, whenever you send out an email campaign on Klaviyo, Facebook ROAS rises, or whenever you launch some new Facebook acquisition ads, well, your Google ROAS usually rises. And that's because your branded search, as an example, starts getting, well, more traffic to it. Therefore, it gets more purchases, or there's more intent now of people looking up for you and keywords related to your brand now that they've seen an ad from you on Facebook. Well, I've seen the same thing. I've seen a correlation between whenever you're running TikTok ads and actually a rise on stats, let's say, on Facebook. So that's one thing. And the second thing is actually creative testing, where mostly speaking, any creatives that worked and had a very high CTR on TikTok were pretty much guaranteed to be a winner on Facebook. That's pretty much one-to-one what I've seen also working in the past is this correlation in creative success. But what I haven't seen is consistency. What I haven't seen is great results at scale with TikTok. And what I have yet to see is TikTok on the long run outperform Meta. I've never seen that personally. I've always seen Meta outperform TikTok for pretty much every single brand except the social media app with which I just mentioned earlier. What I also find interesting is that if you're looking at the Northbeam newsletter reports, they share what is the ad spend split between all of their customers. And if I look from April earlier this year all the way to now, it's pretty much the same thing, which means like this year has been very stagnant when it comes to budget. And when you've seen that essentially since last year, TikTok's budget has actually been decreasing. It was closer to 4 or 5% at some point in terms of split. Now, we were, if you look earlier this year, we were at 3.36%, and as of today, we're at 3.2%. So it's just slowly declining as an overall budget split. What has happened in the last year is the following. People were tired of Facebook. They were hit by iOS 14. They were desperate to find a solution. TikTok was the golden nugget. TikTok was the golden solution. Everybody rushed to TikTok. But then, slowly but surely, people realized sales and results weren't the same on TikTok. And while that was happening, Facebook finally figured out their stuff, their algorithm, their pixel, their conversion API, and people realized, hey, I'm actually still making more money on Facebook than I really am with this new thing on TikTok. Let me just shift ad spend back to Facebook. Where people stayed and still continue to stay on TikTok for is the same thing Nick Shackelford said, it's organic. In the last 12 months, we've seen Tab's Chocolate, now one of the biggest and most talked about brands in this D2C space, that blew up because of TikTok organic. They literally used an Andrew Tate-like strategy within the e-commerce space to blow up with affiliates, essentially their TikTok organic strategy. And now a lot of brands are starting to blow up and utilize a very similar strategy nowadays since it's been popularized by Tabs. So I've seen a lot of brands do that, and within my client pool too, most brands are now aware of this affiliate strategy within TikTok, and a lot of them are leveraging it. I've seen TikTok actually, it started as a really organic first platform. People were blown away by the organic reach. Then it kind of slowed down. People were now, well, man, if the organic reach is there, probably the ads are there. So let me instead really get into ads, which people did that for mid 2021 all the way to kind of mid 2022 or towards the end of 2022, let's say. People figured out that wasn't the case. They went back to advertising on Meta and Facebook, but they still figured out the reach and just the sheer organic kind of velocity you can have on TikTok is unmatched by any platform out there. Now, after speaking with a couple people that were really leveraging TikTok organic, I managed to find a couple nuggets that I was able to compile and share with you for today's video. So one of them is basically if you post from a mobile phone, this is the best way to ensure most reach on the platform. As soon as you post from either the desktop TikTok version, or if you schedule from any scheduling tools, you're going to be limited by the algorithm. Then second thing is, if you also want to make sure you have as much organic reach as possible, you can mask your organic video by using a trending sound. So whenever you upload, that's your pre-edited video into TikTok, you can just add one of these trending sound. You can turn off the volume basically all the way down to 1%. And then that way you cannot hear it essentially when people are watching your video, but it's still there and appears in the trending sounds. Gives you basically more reach within that. Now, other thing is that TikTok, wherever you are posting the video from, so whatever phone you're posting the video from, and it's looking specifically at the SIM card within that phone, you will be geo-locked most of the time to that SIM card. So let's just say I have a US SIM card on my phone. Well, every time I post a TikTok video, a US audience is going to see that video. I figured that out the hard way. I actually had a team from Poland that was uploading my videos, and I was like, why am I not growing? Why is my audience literally all Europeans? And I was looking into it. It was all Polish. It was literally all Poland people that were seeing my videos. And last but not least, the affiliate strategy I talked about earlier essentially is for you to have multiple accounts that are branded with your logo with a very similar video description, and you just simply have different creators that have their kind of different taste, branding styles, etc. They shoot videos for your brand on their own accounts, therefore reaching their own pocket of audience. If you ask me, why shouldn't I post these same videos on all of my main account? Well, then you're confusing the algorithm, because if you do that, you have so many different messages in your in your account that algorithm doesn't really know who to push your videos to. So you got to go very niche with the style of content you post on TikTok. And then finally, by doing so, also you would have way too much volume of content pushed through a single account, which wouldn't get as much exposure. You would get quite limited by the algorithm itself, whereas if you have different accounts, you kind of trick the algorithm into thinking those are like different people and whatnot, which allows you to push towards a bigger part of the market. If you also want to see how we use AI to generate like more video ideas or the hooks or the scripts even for videos that we do on TikTok, check out the link in the description down below to join a free school community. You'll have access to over 15 hours of content on our marketing processes, ad processes, how we leverage AI as mentioned earlier, and more. And with that being said, if you want to work with our team at paidadvertising.com, then also check out a link down below and book in a call to speak with our team. On that note, make sure you guys check out other videos of the channel for some more useful marketing tips, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.